same tune, same channel, the Giants guys. And as always, Jeff's doing that crazy thing with his arm. You know you're in the right spot. You know you're in the right place. Thanks for watching another episode of the Giants guys. Ladies and gents, we're going to break down a little bit of the draft, who we like, who we don't like. Thanks for coming on board today when I did a little work with the entertainer, Chris. We appreciate the support. Guys, everybody knows that we are the Giants guys. Everyone knows all the great content you guys are pumping out for NY Giants Rush. What they want to know is, what do you like, what you don't like about this draft? They want the truth. They don't want it all buttered up and it to be like all in a nice box. Exactly. Right? They want to know the truth. They don't want everybody just riding the bandwagon like, oh, everything's great. Or the opposite. Everything was terrible, right? They just want honest talk. So we're the Giants guys. Let's give them honest talk. I'm gonna start with you, Jeff. I'd love to know, and we're gonna go a little out of order. I'm not gonna just go right down, round 1, round 2, round 3. I'd like to know a sleeper, one that you did, a draft pick or a draft, let's say, slot choice because of the movement. Mm-hmm. Something that you were surprised you didn't see coming at all, like something that grabbed your attention. Who or what would that be?
Well, I mean, what caught me by surprise easily was dropping to 20 in the first round when we were all stoked thinking we're going to get Smith or Slater. One of them was going to be there after the 9th pick, and we're all stoked. And all of a sudden, Giants traded their pick all the way to 20. I mean, the shock factor, you could feel it across all Giants fans. And then I'm like, hold on, let's see what we got for it. And we got a haul for it. So that was the most shocking thing of the entire night. I didn't think we would drop that far back. Dave never traded back in his GM career. So, I mean, biggest shock easily goes right there. As for a sleeper, I don't know if a 3rd round pick is really a sleeper because I did some research on that, Cat, and I like him, Aaron Robertson. But I really love the running back that we scooped up, Gary Brightwell. I mean, didn't really know much about him until checking out some highlights, and I saw somebody on Twitter say he's like a young Marshawn Lynch, and I can kind of see it. Like, he runs with a head full of steam. He runs hard, and I love the fact that they took a late round flyer on a running back because there's just so much value so late in the league, in the draft for a running back like that. So let him.
We've always done well, right? With the
exactly.
Draft pick running backs, right?
Absolutely. And if you watch his highlights, he looks like he looks like a bad man. He looks like somebody who wants to hit you when he's got the ball in his hands.
Very cool. I love that. I love that take. Michael Stewart, tell me give me the maybe not disappointment, but one that maybe you were like, because listen, it's a nice draft. I think everybody's pretty satisfied and happy with what they did. And but there had to be a moment where maybe you were like, oh, like this isn't about the players. What moment kind of grabbed you like I didn't see that. I'm a little bit disappointed. Was there a moment there where you were kind of like maybe not the happiest camper for a couple of minutes?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I think round 3, Aaron Robinson, I knew a little about the guy, but I really did not think they'd take a cornerback in round 3. I was totally expecting a lineman. I really was. When you look at the board and see who was still on the board, there was a ton of interior linemen still there, and I really thought they were going to grab one. I think we were on the air when that happened, if I'm not mistaken. But when I looked at more on Aaron Robertson, the kid can play, and he's gonna compete this year. He'll probably win a job at the slot corner. So
that took you by surprise that they they went cornerback in the 3rd round. I mean, and that was the trade back from Denver. So yeah, that was a moment where you had no idea what was going on because Dave was doing all sorts of things that we were like,
up and down, and
he traded up there. Yeah,
Trader Dave
trading down, trading back up.
3 times.
I also used to not laugh, but like I used to look at like who he would trade with or where he would pick up free agents from, and I started like looking into it. I'm like, oh, maybe he's got a good relationship with Chicago. Maybe he's got a good relationship with Denver. But I mean, overall, I could see being a little bit surprised taking a corner at 3. That makes sense. How about you, Fresh? How about Give me the guy. Give me the one guy you think is going to surprise everybody. I don't really think you can go Tony with a surprise, but that's up to you. Who's going to surprise people, come August, when the beat writers like our boy Paul and Duggan and Patty Trainer, when they're writing about who the standout or the not the exception, but the surprise, who's going to be the surprise in camp?
I'm gonna stay away from Aziz too, because I don't know if that would be much of a surprise, just because he's an athletic freak. But I'm gonna say Ellerson Smith, from some stuff that I saw recently, based on not only his production, but the fact that he was like Jeff size when like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right? You saw
What the
that?
hell is
dude.
that supposed to mean,
190.
bruh?
You were the first person I looked at. I could have said any one of us, but
Sure.
Nah, he was
I'm-
going at you, bro.
I'm built for speed, not comfort. All right.
but just like looking at some of the tape on him and some of the production that he's had and what people have said about him, it looks like he can be somebody who in camp flashes. I don't know if he'll be super. I don't know if he'll get a ton of snaps early on, but at that position, he probably will get some. Like maybe, I don't know, like as it goes on in the first month, maybe he gets. I'm not good at snap counts, but maybe he plays like 15% of the defensive snaps. Does that sound about right?
Maybe
If he
obvious
put- yeah.
passing downs or something.
Yeah, I see like a third down specialist right now.
Yeah, that
I
might
see
even be
that.
high 15%.
Yeah.
He's very tall and lean, if I remember correctly.
He came in at
6'6".
190, 6'6", 190, and then he's at the Senior Bowl. He bulked up to 260.
Wow.
You know what,
Hell
though?
of a lot of weight he put on.
My
That's
buddy said,
that's a lot of vitamins, boys.
Yeah.
yeah.
He
I want
said a
some
lot
of
of
those.
hamburger helper.
So look, my buddy saw somebody on Twitter just broke him down. You guys probably saw it, but the guy from Math Bomb tracks athleticism.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what Math Bomb was, by the way.
It-
I don't know.
yeah.
Well, you're giving them a lot of free plugs. You
They're
must know
good.
what they are now.
Anyway, so they tracked the athleticism score of
Yeah, he's through
1,400
the roof.
edge prospects since 1987. Over 1,400 edge prospects since 1987, and he ranked like 40th out of 1,400. This guy, based on like
Wow.
these numbers, which is insane. So
Yep. You know what's funny about that? They didn't actually call it edge till like 2 years ago. So I'm
Yeah.
already like,
Well, and edge, but like, he came in as a basketball player, man. He's still learning the position, but
Yep.
95th percentile in height, 98th vertical jump, 94th broad jump, 90
didn't-
hand size.
I did not realize he was 6'6".
Dude,
Yeah, when
he's a
you-
basketball player. He's huge.
Jeff, you notice it like after he makes a tackle and he stands up and like everyone's at like the 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" range. And there's this
college,
cat
yeah.
who's like towering over the top.
Long
of
as
him.
hell, dude.
Yeah. Well,
And
what
the
about
reason
you?
have-
yeah,
Go ahead, Michael Stewart. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with Spirit. He's got long arms and he's got a lean body. He's probably going to fill up even more.
Yeah,
than
he's
that.
got
Mhm.
more
He
room to
could get
grow.
to 270s. He probably. get
That'd be
into.
nice.
All those right vitamins. So Spiro, tell me, so I wrote a piece on Sunday night about Ojolari.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but and I was talking to Chris the Entertainer about it today. What I really love about his game is the fact that he can, big time. He can bend,
Bending.
right? Yeah, he
Like
can
Beckham,
bend.
baby.
And I really like the fact that he modeled, when I watch him on tape, beside the bend and the hand play and the fact that he's at full stride with a step and a half, 2 steps, he's at full stride, full speed. I love the fact that he can pursue the quarterback from behind. He's got great body control and he's out there, with a burst and a lunge, and he's wrapping up quarterbacks from behind. Where when you look at guys more thick bodied, DNs, they tend to take quarterbacks up top, and sometimes they slide off or they miss them or they try to roll down. I remember OC going 4 technique wide, clearly beating the tackle with a lunge. Like, do you think do you think that, like, I mean, people say, oh, he walks on and he's the best pass rusher we have. Like,
Yeah.
college is college and the pros are pros. Can he really walk on, Spiro, and be the best pass rusher? Like, talent wise, he can. But are you one of these guys like, oh, he's automatically going to be better than Zoe and Zimenez just because?
Well, he has the get off that nobody on this team has, man. Like he's going to rack up so many offensive holding penalties because he's going to be one step ahead of everybody. And that dip and bend, man, like you said, he's got so much skill, and nobody has that on this roster right now. I love Zoe, that he's my man, but like Ojulari, man, he knows how to rush the passer. He's a explosive athlete. He even could cover, man. So he's not a one trick pony either. He could cover, he could play the run. Like this guy, like if you switched, everybody said this, I know it's cliche, but if you switched the 11th and 42nd picks, I would have been just as happy with taking Ojulari at 11 and Tony at 42. That's how good. The only reason why he dipped was because of this knee issue that happened in high school.
High school,
Yeah, Ronnie Barnes cleared him. Like Gilman has no worries about it. So like, I love the pick, man. And to drop back 8 spots, pick up a 3rd rounder next year, and still get him.
Brilliant.
So if you're listening to the show and you're on the younger side, and I'm talking about OCU Manura a lot because I think they have the same kind of. First of all, they're both 2nd round draft picks, which is ironic.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't OCU later than that or no?
No, he was 2nd round out of Troy.
Yeah, they're both 2nd round picks. So I think they have the same type of body style, the same same burst off the ball, the same giddy up. But if you're listening to the Giants guys, or maybe you've subscribed, and please do subscribe. It helps us know what you like and what you don't. But I will tell you, in modern day, 2 years ago, he's definitely maybe not at the level, but I think he's a lot like Josh Allen. I mean, and Josh Allen was on our radar. A lot of Giant fans wanted the Giants to draft him out of Kentucky. Yeah, I'm like Kentucky. I almost said Kansas. Out of Kentucky. I think he's got a lot of Josh Allen in him, right? I mean, I think the body style is a little bit different. Josh Allen's like
Josh Allen's bigger.
Yeah, and he's got like an 8-pack. Like he's like completely like ripped and shredded. But they do have a very similar game. So if you're like trying to think like, oh, let me look up who OCU Manura is. If you're a young guy and you just not overly familiar with what OC's game is, look up Josh Allen. He was on, he's on everybody's radar 2 years ago. I think he's very similar to that. And Josh Allen went in the 1st round to Jacksonville, just 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Ojulari is going to be the surprise. And again, I know a 2nd round pick isn't a surprise, but I think he has the best opportunity to make an impact. Is what I probably should say.
That's correct.
The value there was unbelievable. He had a 1st round grade from pretty much everybody.
Yep.
And he seems like, like we have Zoe and we have Zimenez, and they seem like projects. Whereas this kid just seems like a natural. Like he's going to get coached up. He's going to be the guy, I think, pretty quickly. So like
he's going to start one of those spots.
Jeff, that's a great point. Cause like this is not negative, but I'm just like, let's call a spade a spade. Okay. We all love Zoe Carter, but we haven't seen anything out of him. Like he was on and off, kind of hot and cold.
He was coming on.
And he was coming on, right? Graham got him.
Yep.
Graham got him
from
going
an Achilles
a little
injury.
bit. Yep. But now he's up against the contract. I hate to say it, but he's up against the contract.
1 year left. Yeah.
Yep. And then Zimenez, who I'm a big fan of because he was the first player drafted ever out of Old Dominion. I love it. I love a story like that. Like first guy ever drafted, out of a university. Like I also think, he was a defensive end in college, and Betcher converted him to, an outside linebacker. I'm not really sure that's the best use of his skills, but let's call a spade a spade. There's no 12, 13, 14 sack guy on this team. Ojulari might be that guy.
He's very well right.
Hope you're right. Giants need him.
Got the potential. Yep.
So, all right. You like Ojulari. Everybody likes him. Jeff, tell me about the guy where if you had, and again, it's not a knock on players, but Jeff, I want to know if where in the round did you go, oh, we should have went guard there. We should have went a center there. We should have went tight end there. Like Was there a spot where like, I know you're super positive. Maybe you're not quite Mr. Glass half full.
There's only
But-
one. Can
Yep,
be
there's
one.
only one. There's only one that, but there's got to be a moment when you're scratching your head like, I didn't see that coming. Why?
Spiro's got the bust, Hall of Fame bust for each of these draft picks ready to go.
Michael Stewart nailed it. It was round 3 because there was still a ton of guards out there. And there were guys that, I have several different groups that I text with constantly, and there's a Giants chat, and these guys are throwing out names. One of my friends actually predicted a trade back to the Bears, like at round pick 9. So I thought that was pretty impressive. So
Pretty
these aren't
good. Pretty
these aren't
good.
some schlubs. Some of
Get
them
him
know.
on. Get him on the show.
Some of them know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was like,
But
if he's that good, we got to get him playing some pickup.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is good. He's good.
Oh.
Thank you, Pickup, for sponsoring.
Shameless plug.
Picking us up.
Um,
But Michael Stewart had it. 3rd round, really thought they were going guard there. After researching Aaron Robinson, I do love the pick, but that was
Yeah.
definitely the shock factor where I'm like, how is that not an offensive lineman right there? Definitely a shock factor there.
Spiro, this one's for you. And it's not, all I want you to do is keep an open mind. All I'm asking. So I'll tell you, open. So like Jeff, like surprised at the pick, but player can ball and he's definitely going to challenge Darnay Holmes for that nickel or / dime. The reason why I was disappointed, and I think Michael Stewart and I talked about this the other night, was not that you're creating a problem that's not there, but now you have this room full of really good athletes. At some point in time, right? Because I use this analogy with Chris today, the entertainer. Like you got the captain, okay, which is Peppers, right? And he's the thumper. And then you've got like, the general with Logan Ryan, right? With he's like, you don't give us a nickname, we'll come up with our own nickname. And people are like, yes, sir, right? when people say, where do you want you come to New York, people listen to Logan Ryan, right? He's got that Jersey dog in him, right?
Right.
And then you got the silent assassin, right? With Bradbury. You don't hear much from him, and he's right, and he's basically taking the number 1 receiver out, right? Then you got Adoree Jackson, who like everybody loves. Like this guy's like he's a baller, he's fun, he's got a great attitude. You can tell he loves his job, he loves what he does. Outside of that, that bump at Tennessee, getting hurt, guy could play, right? High pick. Now you start at McKinney. We don't really know what McKinney is, but we know what he could be, right?
Right.
He flashed a little bit last year, but we know there's a lot of room to grow. Now you got Love, Yadam, Robinson. At some point, Spiro, now maybe not 2021, but definitely 2022, 2023, guys aren't going to want 8 stars in the room. Remember what they said about Cleveland. There's only one ball to go around, right? Are guys going to get upset, Spiro, that like they're not getting enough snaps? 50 to 70 snaps for a defense.
Well, I hear you on that. So let's take 3 of those guys though, and remove them because Peppers, McKinney, and Ryan are not really going to be in the same position as Bradbury
Because they're
and-
safeties.
Yeah, right. So it
Pick to the
comes down
corners,
to
yeah.
Ryan, and comes down to Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, Love, Holmes, and our guy Robinson, and Jackson, Adoree Jackson, and Yada. So and then you can even throw Sam Beal in there because he's still
Don't
technically on
forget
the
about
roster.
6th
Still
rounder
a tech-
Rodarius Williams, guys.
And Rodarius Williams. Okay, so long story short, if everybody stayed healthy, yeah, I think that'd be a problem. I think that'd be a problem if everybody stayed healthy. But how many times do we see all of the defensive backs stay healthy for a full season? I honestly can't remember one season where we had it. I feel like every season we're
Used to
picking
be a
guys
curse
up off
for
the
them.
street.
Used to be a curse. They had
Yeah,
all the
everybody,
secondary guys
every
hurt.
year we'd be picking guys up off the street and signing these no-name guys. So I think you lose 2 cornerbacks a season for decent chunks of time. So I feel like it's a natural thing where we're going to just be rotating these guys in and out. And I truly believe, and let's also call a spade here. Adoree Jackson has missed tons of games in the past 2 years. I like the signing because of the upside, but man, if you don't have a plan B for that's taking a huge risk. So I like they stocked it this year. Adoree Jackson's only under contract for 3 years. Bradbury's only under contract for 2 more. So you got to think long term here too.
And I don't think Brad. I mean, like he's the guy.
Bradbury's going
You
to
know
get
what-
signed. Yeah.
But
I-
yeah, but Jackson, it's a good point.
Jackson's a worry, man. I worry about it. I love the signing, but he's got to prove he can stay on the field.
Michael Stewart, I don't know how much you've looked into the cornerback situation. So we know Love at Notre Dame played some corner and some safety, and then his first year he was basically a safety, and then last year with some injuries like Spiro just alluded to, to Darnay Holmes, Love played a little corner. Do you see any of these guys being moved around at all? Do you see them playing Michael Stewart maybe going to a dime? You know what I mean? And playing instead of playing 5, playing 6 DBs.
Very well. I definitely see him doing a lot of 5.
Nickel
yeah.
nowadays. I think we'll all agree. Nickel nowadays is some defenses base package.
And they got the talent to do that. So, yeah, I can see them going 6 on occasion. It all depends on the situation, but definitely they'll go with a nickel majority of the time. That's what I see.
In the nickel, Michael Stewart, is Robinson on the field or is Darnay Holmes on the field?
Well, right now it's Holmes, but I think Robinson is probably gonna challenge that, and you may see it splitting early, and then at the midway through, he might win that job.
Okay, Fresh. I'm assuming that Adoree Jackson's backup now is Love, is what I'm assuming. Would everyone agree with that or no?
Yeah.
It could be Yadam, could be 2 right now.
I think
Well,
the
that's what
way
you love about Robinson. He could play both inside and outside. So he's got that versatility that Judge loves.
They love
Talks about
versatility.
it time and time again. If guys need to play multiple positions, you've heard Judge say that 1,000 times. Love will be able to fill in. Like that's a great part about being this deep now. Because
Yeah,
injuries are
man.
going to happen. Like
He
imagine
likes
what this
Love,
defense
Judge.
looks like if you lose Peppers or Bradbury for a month. That's a big hit.
I
Those
can't
guys
believe that just came out of your mouth. You just totally jinxed us.
I didn't. I was knocking on wood.
We're all knocking on wood here.
Well, look at it too, right? Like if you got a bunch of DBs on the field, like Peppers could be like a linebacker. Like
Yes.
it's like positionless football, like basketball. Like
Yep.
you don't worry
It's-
about
yeah.
if LeBron James is a point guard or a power
Small
forward.
ball.
You just want him on the court. So
Right.
Okay.
I think you just want
Athletes.
athletes on the field, and then they'll keep guys fresh too. If everybody does stay healthy, like that's great, and they'll keep guys fresh. So like Bradbury doesn't have to chase around the number one like every snap of the game. And then also they're going to be strategic and look at matchups too, like who has had success against certain types of receivers based on the team they're playing, who's a better tackler to support the run game against different teams. So I mean, they have a lot of options, and that's a position where really, like you've seen teams just get completely wrecked, where a couple of secondary injuries, and what do the good quarterbacks do? They just pick on the guy that just
Yeah.
comes in the game,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Ryan
We've seen it
Lewis,
too many
We've been
times.
the-
so-
We've been the victim of that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, seriously.
So, all right, then, Fresh, tell me this. Like, no one's holding it to this hot take. Jeff's not going to write it down in the book on you.
Write
Or
it down,
maybe-
Jeff.
All right, yeah,
It's
exactly.
gonna be
All
right here
maybe-
though.
Maybe
Depends
he
how
will.
depends how
Spiro's
hot.
All
gonna
right,
remember.
so-
Spiro will remember.
I'm gonna write just so I have all the names, right? So Bana.
It's just
I haven't
in
heard
his
that one
head
in a while.
just in his head at all times.
Kind of funny. I think it actually is.
Yeah.
All right, so I got Bradbury, I got Logan Ryan, I got McKinney, I got Peppers, right? Then I got Adoree Jackson, I got Love,
Such
I
a
got
good problem.
Yadam,
All right.
I got Robinson, I got Holmes, and who was the 7th round pick? Because I can't remember his name. 6th round pick, Williams.
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 So we, by the way,
Wait, hang
Yeah.
on. I got one more. Beal. Okay,
Fun-
so that's 1, 2, 3, 4,
8, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 11 DBs. Now, let's say we're not really going to argue over the safety. So, are we sure Ryan's staying at safety?
In my opinion, yeah.
yeah,
Peppers, safety. McKinney, safety.
Loves a hybrid.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, so all right. You know what? You
Pepper's a
just-
hybrid.
You just answered my question.
As
I'm going
far
to
as
start with you,
linebacker.
Jeff. Jeff, if Love is a hybrid, does that buy him they love versatility, right?
That
And-
probably saves his job. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
unless
All
something
right.
happens, yeah.
So he becomes a corner safety. That saves him a job plus special teams. Okay.
They're gonna keep 10 guys.
You think
Yadam's-
10? You're
Yadam's
jumping the
prob-
shark. You're
Yadam's
jumping the shark
probably-
on me, but okay.
Yadam's probably shit out of luck.
They
Yadam
did that
or-
last year. They did it last
All right.
year.
Well,
kept 10.
slow down, boys.
Craig's like,
Slow-
I'm painting a picture here. Can you wait?
Yeah, can't you see the Picasso? Um,
And Sam Beal's not
fresh.
going to be back.
Mm.
fresh.
Sorry.
Calm you.
Calm your nerves, Fred.
Yeah.
I'm going to you, Fresh. I'm coming to you, Fresh.
Sorry.
Okay, so Fresh is the nickel Holmes and Robinson.
You mean Holmes or Robinson or both of them?
No, because Robinson, Holmes isn't getting cut, and Robinson's not going to get cut. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
both on the roster, and
Yeah,
they're both gonna be competing to start at nickel, but they're both gonna make the team.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay, I'm just seeing who's the odd man out here. This game is called the odd man out.
Gotcha.
All right, so, who's CB2? Spiro, who's CB2?
Yeah, you're gonna probably have to go with CB2, Dory Jackson right now.
Who is the CB2 backup?
That's the question. It's either Robinson or Love.
Yep.
In my opinion,
Okay, so
Yadam's out.
Okay, so we've already got them with a job. So, all right, Jeff, I've got Yadam. I knew this was going to happen. I've got Williams.
That's it right there.
Williams. put
Williams
that
is
to Williams,
special teams.
Yeah, and-
Williams
or-
effort.
He didn't play special teams much in college.
practice
though. I
squad,
mean,
dude.
All right, so Jeff, Yadam and Beal.
Both gone.
Let's start off. Are they both gone, or is one staying?
They could both be gone, or one to the practice squad so that you can call them up if you need to, something like
Well,
that.
I
But
got Williams for that.
well, they're probably going to be. I mean, Yadam was stitched together and made to look like a football player last year because of really good coaching. He was exposed bad in the beginning.
He played well, though. I mean, to give him
Down the
credit.
stretch, he played better, but
Down
when
the
he first
stretch, he
got
did.
here, remember though, he's being traded. It's kind of new for him, but
Yep, it was good coaching. Honestly,
Yes.
he has decent talent. He's not great. I think he's on the outside looking into this group.
all right. So Yadam, if Yadam goes, Beal's got to go, right, Jeff?
I think Beal probably goes before Yadam, just because Yadam has played with this coaching staff. They know him a little bit better. Beal has been a ghost.
Yeah,
No ties.
Yep.
Yeah, I told Spiro. I think we were talking about this like, I don't know, January, February. I'm like, I'm not sure that dude's played more than 50 snaps in 3 years.
I thought he had a chance earlier on, but once Adoree got signed and then they got the draft pick, I was like, the writing is on a wall. He's Dunzo Malunzo.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
are we all comfortable? Are the Giants guys comfortable going in with nine defensive backs, corners, and safeties? Williams to the practice squad, cutting Yadam and Beal. Would we now? Again, I know we don't always have to agree, and I don't think we do always agree. But would we agree that when the season starts, we have 9 defensive backs? Williams potentially practice squad, Yadam and Beal go. We all comfortable with that?
I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll go with 10.
Well, then probably Yadam sticks.
Yeah. Beal's gonna.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Unless Williams just really balls.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
knows?
could. He could.
he,
I mean,
he's a
it's
man
toss-up.
guy. So let's say one thing too about this whole thing with Robinson and
Graham wants to
Williams.
play man.
They all
right?
can-
Oh
play
yeah,
man.
they're not doing cover 3 like they did last year, dude. It's gonna be up in your grill, blitz it, and it allows them to blitz. It's gonna be fun to watch with the safeties roaming
You-
around.
You guys would like the tape on Rodarius Williams too.
Yeah.
He's like an in-your-face physical kind of
Yeah.
guy. Like,
Yeah, he
like
is,
if he
he
breaks
is.
up your pass, he's looking at you on the ground and he's looking at the
Right.
bench. Like he's a fiery.
He plays
player.
like his brother. He plays like his
Yes.
brother plays.
Greedy Williams.
Yeah. A little
Rodarius
bigger,
is actually older. He's 20. He's going to be 25 when the season starts.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
25 years old.
How many times did he do high school? I mean,
Great
Yeah.
question.
14.
all right.
football
So
varsity.
let's just say for this conversation that that Williams might make the team, definitely be practice squad, could ball out. Like you said, he's Greedy Williams' brother. So Yadam and Beal are the make or break. If you have to choose, we go with Yadam. Played better down the stretch, but got some really good coaching. I think, Jeff, that's a great point. The odd man out by far is Beal.
Yep.
Yep. Agreed.
He has to have a tremendous, phenomenal training camp.
Well,
I
this
don't
is
even-
this
that doesn't even save
breeds
him.
this breeds so much competition, man. With the so all these guys in a room, everybody has to bring their A+ game. Nobody's on scholarship. It's the best
point.
9 to 10 guys.
That's a good one.
No, and the best 9 to 10 guys are in, and that's what I love about the depth there. And I love the depth at edge sneakily now too.
Yeah.
He's gonna be, that's gonna be tough for him.
I'm not.
Or
I'm not-
Nico.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys caught. I don't know
my
if you
man
guys-
Nico's
I
gonna
like
have an uphill
Nico.
climb.
I don't know if you guys caught the Giants guys at lunch today. It's called.
yeah.
It's like having lunch with the Giants guys.
I did.
No.
But it
Oh,
was
I
just, it
didn't
was
see
just
that.
it was just me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm always saying this for people who didn't see the show today, and I'm not going to go back and talk about Ojulari again, but I want to bring up one point we forgot to bring up was the gentleman that got him to Georgia, who knew him as a high school baller, who recruited him to play at Georgia, is a guy named Kevin Shear. Kevin Shear is now on the New York Giants coaching staff, and he will be the edge / linebacker coach. So the guy who recruited him to play at Georgia, the guy that knew him and his parents and recruited him, like literally knows what kind of kid he is, right?
There are no coincidences.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
no, I mean, it's very, very cool because
Oh, and Andrew Thomas also has a little bit of knowledge on this guy. He was at his draft party.
They're
So
boys.
they
And
had
Lorenzo
all the knowledge
Carter
they needed
too. I
on
think
him.
they all went to school together.
Yeah.
So that's all good news.
There's so many overlapping relationships on this
Uh-huh.
defense.
cool.
Like seeing a lot of it on this team in general. It's kind of
You
cool.
know, interesting point. I don't know. We don't follow tons of other teams, and we don't get into the intricate relationships of other teams. But like from looking at the coaches that we've had in the past to this one, Judge seems to do things a little bit differently. Like there is like a no shame in saying, yeah, I'm picking Saban's brain. Yeah,
Well,
I'm.
Absolutely.
It's right
nice
out
brain to
there.
pick.
That's like it's very like when you learn from the best, you learn from the best. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I got another fun one for you. Third rounder Aaron Robinson was an Alabama transfer. He played his
Yeah,
freshman
right.
year with the McKinney.
And you know what? I was looking at, by the way, Andrew Thomas, he was like real excited that they got Aziz, right? And last year, the guy handled himself so well, Andrew Thomas, right? Like in the beginning of the year, like remember how Flowers handled his criticism and his poor play versus how Andrew Thomas did? All he did was improve, got better, stood
Right.
up there, answered the questions.
Played through injury.
Was a great kid, like high character when they drafted him, and like that showed. And like for him to say about Aziz what he said, he goes, he's fast, strong, has good weight, but personally the thing that makes him different from other guys is his heart and the way he plays the game. Like I just feel like Andrew Thomas is genuine, and like if
Yes.
he says that about you, it's legit.
Right.
So
Agreed.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas comes off as just a really good kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he's just a really good dude.
you're rooting
And-
for him.
They get
Yeah.
to battle in practice now too.
Well, if who mentioned it? Maybe it was Spiro. Spiro, when he was at the draft party and he got the
Yeah.
call, they flashed to this like
He was
kitchen
going
full of
nuts.
people, and he's like this. Yeah.
He's getting all hyped.
All right, so let's talk about Tony. We can't. Like I know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been
Yeah,
It's been-
remember our first round
A
pick?
big shiny toy now.
yeah. I mean, it's been hashed out a bazillion times, so I'm gonna try to go a different direction. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy.
I like it.
I'm not saying it's easy. Yeah, oh, look at you. All right. Fresh. Does Tony start the season as the kick or punt returner?
I believe that he will. I think he will.
Spiro, will he start the season as the punt and kick returner?
I think at least one. I think he's
One of
going to
them.
be. Yeah, he's going to be I don't know which one it is, but he's going to not be getting a ton of snaps on offense right off the bat. So they're going to want to use him as much as possible in any other facet.
Mhm.
Yeah, hell yeah.
as I said, I'm going in a different direction here.
I like it.
Don't hate me for this next question because I know I'm going to get an
I don't
eyebrow
know if I
raise
like it.
out of Spiro and Pilgrim because they somehow share thought processes. Did you see the picture on Twitter
Oh, there we go.
with Tony sitting in the very, very expensive sports car?
Yeah.
Jeff,
Oh,
I would say, Jeff, that we would call that in my industry bad optics. Now, what I mean by that is it doesn't look great when you have a new job, you're 3 days into your new job and you're flashing $100,000 car or a $70,000 car. Doesn't over make
That's
you
more
look
than
good.
70, I think.
Yeah. And
yeah.
and
Did
the
he even get
interesting
a
thing
check
is,
yet? How did he get that car already? I don't know.
well,
Sorry, guys.
I hate to
He's
tell
a
you,
rapper, bro.
he
Oh,
had
you're
he
right.
had the car. The car was like already his. They were just like, where do I send the car? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like whoever he got the car from, the car was already there, and they were like, do I send it to Chicago?
Yeah.
Do I send it to New York? Do I send it to Florida? The car was already there. My question to you is, they made a big deal in 2019 that Dwayne Haskins had a draft party and he was charging people cover at the door, and he was like rolling around in like a Lambo or something like that
Why
he
are
had
you
bought.
charging a cover when you're a millionaire?
Seriously.
So my question is it bad optics him flashing off this brand new car on his third day on the job?
I'm not gonna go there and say that it's a problem or it's bad optics. I think it's
does it make you worry a little?
that no, not yet. Can I elaborate or no?
Yeah.
Of
go.
course.
I
Of
think
course.
these are young kids that are rich. I mean, he made himself rich before he even got to the
He's
pros.
excited, he's happy.
I think he's celebrating. He hasn't done a damn thing wrong. If he's flashed it, listen, the kid's got talent. That's why he's here. So until it's a problem, it's not a problem. I think he's doing his thing and good for him, basically.
I said on Twitter, someone said something like, "Wow, look at that." Can he, or something like, look at that. That's crazy. And I responded with like, "Yeah, those shoes must have cost him a fortune."
Or
He had
his two
on, too.
watches, yeah,
2 watches.
that are probably worth my house.
So Michael Stewart, does he return kicks and punts?
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the special teams role to start the season, but I think he'll slowly earn more playing time as the season unfolds.
Yep.
He's
Fresh.
too good. You know, I mean, listen, if I was Jason Garrett, I'd be so happy right now. I would create just a package for him.
Yep. Lined up in the backfield.
Wildcat formations. I would do a lot of stuff with him. You kidding?
Oh yeah.
Fresh. Do you think Jason Garrett had a say in taking him? Because I feel like he probably had a lot to say. And like, wow, we can do a lot with this guy. Like, I just feel, that they probably consulted him, but that's just me. Fresh, do you think that Jason Garrett was involved with the Tony pick?
Oh, absolutely. They definitely would talk to him about what he would envision doing. 100%. Like, it was a collaborative effort, right? It's not like they asked him who he wants to take and went with it, but when they rate these guys and they go over them, they get the coach's input. Like, you hear them talk and you hear Chris Pettit, the director of whatever his title is,
Player
right?
personnel.
Yeah, exactly. College scouting or player personnel, whatever. He talks about how, like, they sit down with the coaches and get their vision on the types of players that they want and what they want to achieve. And that's what they implement into their scouting process. So they're looking for certain things that they know the coaches want.
That's a great point, Fresh, because I said today when I was doing the afternoon show with Chris, I said, I think they brought in Rudolph because it reminds him more of a Witten type of tight end where he didn't know Ingram. Then he found out what Ingram was and was like, oh, crap, that I don't know even what to do with that. So, he wind up like doing like reverses and pitches, right? One of you guys were like, if I see Ingram do another end around, I'm going to freak out. I think it was you, Spiro.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah.
Go ahead, Fresh.
I will say, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but for me, a sense of disappointment was we came in to the draft, and I like the way that it turned out, but we said to ourselves numerous times, and it was the case, you're not going to trade back because no matter what, we thought 4 or 5 QBs would go. All right, 3 went. You were going to get a stud player, no matter how it panned out. And there still was available stud players there if they didn't trade out, despite Devontae Smith going. Like,
Slater.
I don't know.
Slater.
Time will. Yeah,
Tucker.
exactly. Parsons. So time will tell if Tony is a more elite pro than some of those guys. But we all felt like those guys were a notch ahead, right? Like a group of maybe call it 8 to 10 position players were just head and shoulders above it, everyone else. So let's see how Tony's career plays out versus those guys. But that was a sense of major disappointment for me. As you know, I was on Smith's beating that drum for months now. When that happened and the 10th pick was there, I was like, oh my God, like we're going to get Devontae Smith. And then when that Eagles trade happened, like right away, I mean, we were all together. So I was like writing letters to the NFL that they shouldn't allow it.
So I'm down here in the Philadelphia market, and I've been killing Eagles fans left and right. When I see anyone,
They're going to mess him
go,
up, though. They'll mess it up.
I said, you guys should. Well,
You see how sad he looks?
I was gonna say, is that his personality, or is he actually upset to be in Philadelphia?
I dead ass think he thought he was going to the Giants, and then that happened, and he was like, "Oh no!"
He's holding his jersey up like,
Yeah.
like
I've been killing
Philly.
Eagles fans. Like how you have no shame trading with the Cowboys, and they're like, well, we got who we want, and I'm like, you traded with your number one rival. No, that's like
It's
the
a
Yankees.
business.
The Yankees trading with the Red Sox. The Phillies trading with the Mets.
Yeah.
It's like the Islanders trading with the Devils. This stuff doesn't happen.
No, Rangers.
It was smart though. I will give it to him.
Yeah,
man.
Rangers. Yep. All right. Well, I want to move on to the last segment here.
Wait,
go ahead. Go ahead.
One
Spiro,
more thing. You guys were talking about Tony. The one thing that dropped him a little bit was the immaturity, and he did get found in 2018 with some guns on him. It's not nothing. Let's just say that. But
shotgun.
If there is ever a place where I now feel confident that Joe Judge is going to run a tight ship here. Like he's coming into a good environment with some good veterans, and I feel confident that he's going to be kept not in check. I don't want to say in check, but like he's not going to do stupid shit.
I think, Billy, I know you guys were talking about, maybe him not being around, but one, I think Shepard's a really good influence.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Barkley and Shepard.
There's some good guys in this team.
Because you know what, if you think about it, OBJ wanted Barkley and Shepard to be. He called them young bulls, and they broke away from him, and he was gone. I think Shepard and Barkley are real good influences. I think Tony will benefit from that, and of course probably Galladay too.
And I was going to say Galladay's been around the block. He's a quieter veteran that he should learn from.
He's grounded. He'll be fine.
The one thing, yeah.
I gotta keep moving. I want to talk about this last thing before we lose everybody.
Yeah.
And it's about the line. Okay, so we've been signing a couple undrafted free agents. We got a couple guys with some mean streaks in them. I've seen that a couple times on Twitter. My question to you, Michael Stewart, is last year we didn't draft. We drafted a bunch of first round draft pick. We drafted tackle. Third round we drafted a tackle, right? And then we bring in guys like Shane Lemieux, 5th round pick, and we got Gates, an undrafted free agent. Like, why are we doing this again? Like, why are we going after, like, it almost seems like a plan. It probably is a plan that, like, you know what? We're not drafting linemen. We're going to bring in the nastiest guys that we can find that don't get drafted. They don't get drafted. 50% of it tells me, Michael Stewart, that they don't get drafted because they're missing something in their game. And the other 50% is of all the years with COVID and all the crazy stuff that the coaches, couldn't scout players because there were no games, right? Why are we doing this whole, we'll put the line together with undrafted free agents and what we have? What's the reasoning behind that, you think? I'm assuming you're going to tell me it's because they're happy with what they have, but run with it.
Well, I was going to say we have to trust Judge and his judgment. I think he knows better than we do about his personnel. I looked into this after the draft because I really wanted to see who they're going to get and unsigned the free agents. And they picked these 2 guys up and I really didn't know anything about them, to be honest with you. And I looked them up, and I watched a lot of film on Sunday night into Monday. And I'm not saying these guys are going to be stars, but I can see one of them possibly
The center,
following the
Hagee?
center, yeah, Hagee, Brent
Mhm.
Hagee. I can
Nasty.
see him following the same road as a possibly Nick Gates. I could see that. The kid is he finishes. You watch his block. He finishes everything. And again, the Giants can also get another guy. The season's that didn't start yet. We can get a guard somewhere on cuts or whoever's still out there in free agency. It all depends. They still need money to sign these guys, these draft picks. So I don't think they're done.
all right. Then
Yeah.
then I would parlay that into Spiro. Is Fisher on the radar? We all know how Kansas City cut both their tackles this year. There is some injury there for Fisher, but again, the guy was a really nice player. Won a Super Bowl, the whole thing. Do you think that a guy like Fisher is on the radar, or is that too highbrow for Judge? He doesn't go after those glossy players.
I wouldn't say it's too highbrow for Judge, but I think that you're going to feel comfortable with Thomas and Pert and Solder backing up both spots. So let's not forget about Solder there. He's got experience at both sides. I think they're going to feel cool at tackle. What I see is that a guard being brought in. That's going to be their area of where they're looking. And hopefully it's a guy like Trey Turner or something like that. But they have these guys with flexibility. Gates came in as a guard / center / tackle. No, sorry, he was a guard tackle. They moved him to center. And they had
a great job.
The guy Kyle Murphy that it was a free agent, undrafted free agent last year, who they kept around, and so they like him. I think they like him. And the guy Higbee has both guard / center experience. You got the guy Fulton, the veteran they signed, and the guy Harrison they signed. So there's going to be competition, and let's not forget again. Hernandez was a 2nd round pick, and Lemieux is a 5th rounder. So there's going to be a battle between those two. One of those guys is going to get a spot. So you're throwing a lot of resources at it. It may not be the best resource, but I think if they sign Trey Turner, everybody's going to feel a lot better. But you hope that you only have one weak spot in the line and you can cover that up.
Listen, I think when you look at the NFL, so much is around where you go in the draft and where players go for coaching. Coaching matters more in football than anything. In basketball, you could play. You get drafted, doesn't matter who your coach is, you could play. In football, you used to go to Darius Hayward-Bay went to the Raiders. If he was with Bill Belichick, would things have been different? Maybe. I think Joe Judge is banking on the fact that he said, look at how bad our offensive line was in September. And I had to fire the offensive line coach. I had a pandemic season. It was my first year in the program. 3 of the 5 were rookies. And look how they played at the end of the season. That was with a jacked up season. I get a whole off season with these guys. I think Judge is banking on his ability and his coach's ability to develop these guys. I don't think any of the guys you mentioned in terms of signings or undrafted free agents touch the field. I think it's on the field already. You have Andrew Thomas, you have Matt Part, you have Shane Lemieux. They got to continue to develop those guys and get better. And then those guys that you mentioned, like Solder and stuff, could be backups. But what they have is what they're counting on, and they're counting on their ability to coach and develop.
Gentleman said as much that we is readily apparent that we like our guys more than you guys do.
Well, I think basically last year, throw out the first 8 games. There's no camp. You went up against great defensive fronts, new offensive system and all of that. We were 1-7. Okay. Now they pick themselves off the floor. They actually start to gel a little bit. Hernandez goes out. Shane comes in. All of a sudden they start gelling a little bit. All of a sudden we're looking at this Giants team. They whip off 4 or 5 wins in a row because they have a good defense and a good running game. Gallman was going over 100. He was scoring in 5 out of 6 games at one point. We're over 100 yards rushing in almost every game in the second half of the season. They came together, and I think they're trying to bottle that up and say, that's who we are. Not the overall stats from last season, but this is who we are. These are the guys. And like Fresh nailed it. The coaches believe they can raise these guys up. They invested 3 picks, 1st, 3rd, and 5th round last year. Let them develop and add a piece here and there. So I think we'll be all right.
I'm glad they didn't draft Pay.
Yeah.
You're listening
We'll,
to
we'll go back to that in a year or two from now.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
We'll
All right.
circle back on
Happy
that
Cinco
one.
de Mayo.
yes.
Yeah, buddy. Let's get that going.
Yeah, that's
listening
I was the
tomorrow.
only one
You're
celebrating.
listening to the Giants, guys. Hey, thanks to Pickup. Make your picks. Play the headlines.
Come
Go
on.
to nygiantsrush.com.
Spend some
There's a
cash.
tab in the navigation bar that allow you. There are a ton of new pickups that I put there. Play it. Make your account. It's basically like a credit card. Every time you win a prop, you get a point. Every time you accumulate points, you'll be able to go to Bolero or Fanatics or DraftKings and cash them in for something. So if you want to check it out, it's a real cool game there. Very cool. Here it is there. Pickup on Twitter. It's at play pickup. But you can go to nygiantsrush.com. Go to the navigation bar. Also, guys, we love you. We need you to subscribe. Okay. Drop some notes down for us in the comment section on YouTube. It's the Giant Guy channel. And pass this on, share us, upload, download.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Help us out because we want to get better at what we do. We definitely got a lot of nice comments with the draft and the coverage, and we had some fun. And that's about it. You guys, anything that you want to get off your chest before we go?
I'm excited for rookie camp, man. Rookie camp is right around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Let's get them some numbers, and then schedule's coming out next week.
Ooh.
Paid my season tickets today.
All right.
And the office. Well, not all right. It was
How many tickets you got?
So I used to
Enough to go around.
I used to have 4. And then when the new stadium came in and the seat license kind of priced me out of 4. So I gave 2 up. I still have 2.
All right, well, let me know, bro.
Yeah.
Listen,
Not your boy.
so listen, everyone listening to Giants Guy, you heard it. Because you know what'll happen? Saturday night, I'm going to call and go, let's go. And they're going to go, whoa, I got to watch the kids.
My wife won't let me.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to call in some favors. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 22-yard line, 22 rows up. I've already talked to my man Eli, which we all know and love, about the tailgate party. It's at L2, $20, all you can drink and eat. So we're gonna be rolling. Plus, the Giants guys are gonna broadcast live from the stadium parking lot.
Love it.
Wow.
All we need to do, listen, I already got the setup because I come in on a private bus. So
Wow.
I already have 40 people built in.
Oh.
So
Party.
we roll
I'll be
deep.
driving that shit.
Yeah, baby. So you're listening to the Giants, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You guys stick around for 30 seconds after we say goodbye because I am going to show you the new website for the New York Giants Rush, which will be unveiled next month. So
Nice.
we are OUT out. Peace.